The person I chose to interview for this project is my grandfather Harold, but I've called him Poppy since I was little. And for the interview, I went over to his house at about 2:30 that afternoon after my classes were through for the day. And when I got there, the fan was on full blast and he had the TV on mute to HGTV. And he's in his mid-80s and he has trouble hearing sometimes. He loves history and he has lived through some of our country's worst events. Not unlike a lot of the people that I'm sure were interviewed for this project. And he has a lot of pride for what he was able to accomplish in his lifetime. And when I asked him about his work in the military, he sort of got like a twinkle in his eye like he was seeing flashbacks. And he started explaining that he was a weapons instructor in Columbia, South Carolina. So his job was to train all these guys coming through to go to the war. He was training them on how to use the different weapons, obviously. It's kind of self-explanatory. And at this point, he said that he was looking back on all of this and looking at all the guys he trained and remembering all of their names and their faces and all the friendships he was able to make during his time in the service. And I really admire the work he did, and I don't think guys like him got a lot of recognition for what they did at the time. And when I asked him about some of the best memories he had of his time in the service, he lit up and he started talking about these parades that they would have in the weekends and how they were allowed to like go into a town for a couple days, like a couple days off kind of thing. And these were his favorite because my grandmother, call her Nana, was able to come up from Montgomery to see him. And that was his favorite also because at the time they had only been married for a year and a half or 2 years. So it was hard on their relationship to be so far apart. When I asked him about some things that may have been particularly difficult for him, he was quiet at first. I was almost worried that maybe I struck a nerve or that he just didn't have anything that maybe affected him so much, or that he just really didn't want to answer the question. Now, I wasn't going to pressure him to answer it if he didn't want to, but I was still a little curious. But then he started talking about guys he knew coming back from the war with symptoms of PTSD, and it was hard on him because of the bonds that he had with each guy, and he and each guy got really close, and he wanted to help them, but I mean, you really can't in that situation. And something else that's a little bit more of a minor thing was that he, when he was training these guys, and say a guy he really liked was going through, and that guy didn't do well with whatever particular weapon, he was disappointed in that guy and a little bit in himself because he takes his job so seriously. And overall, I learned a lot from this project. Like, I didn't really know what the Korean War was, a lot of it, before doing this project, because I don't remember being taught much about it during school. And it was interesting to see it from the perspective of someone who was doing the dirty work back home instead of overseas. Thank you.